Hey, gang. 11:02, 8:02 on the West Coast, 4:02 if you're listening live in London. We're going up the middle, right up the middle of the Nazi party. I think we're going to call it the Nutty party because apparently people still think the performance of whatever dude's name was an acceptable one. I've got all kinds of friends from Puerto Rico checking in who have done nothing but scratched our head at why somebody apparently thinks calling probably one of the coolest islands I've ever been on garbage. And where's it come from? Why that guy? Um, we're having issues with Instagram again.
Hi, honey girl.
He has no clue. So it's looking like we're on a rumble. Instagram is not connecting again for some reason. I don't know what the deal is with this channel or with that platform. But the one alert should have come up on my screen saying, "Hey, yeah, provide." Well, I did this. Try the stream key again and see if it'll take it. But we're going to get right into sending data, trying to connect streaming software. Still nothing. I just think I'm dropping Instagram. It doesn't let me edit it. The one thing I like about Instagram is that the moment that you do successfully go live to it, when that happens, it sends alerts to your followers. So that's cool. The issues with it are not. 99.1 WDJY, that's alive and well. Hello, Atlanta. Yerg's Radio, Rainbow Radio. Shout out to our friends across the pond on the UG.media XL channel. Shout out to the puppy that's at my feet. Shady is hanging out with Pops. So yeah, the Nazi party is alive and well, and don't think that they're not. We've got today's Pierre Robert moment. And I think with that, with all of the hate that they're spewing, I think I know who today's morning motivation is going to be. Day is today, 29th. Usually, I get to pick that before going live. You'll understand I'm dealing with repairing homes and from hurricanes. We're ending slightly early today because FEMA's coming today to inspect my house. and that's going to give me some money to get to work. Still waiting on my pension. That should have been here today or tomorrow. But first up, today's morning motivation. I should share this. It's kind of how we do things. There he is. I'm just looking at seeing what this looks like when I. All right, here we go. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't make it to 40 years old. Or maybe he was in his 40s. I forget. I wasn't alive then. But we talked about this yesterday, with Jane, and me wanting to be more of the Mr. Rogers of politics than the Howard Stern. Now, granted, I love Howard. I think he's a genius, a comedic genius, a journalistic genius. He's, without question, changed broadcasting, and particularly radio and free speech. But everybody wants to be Howard Stern. The Howard Stern of their niche. That one dude from ESPN who's got a loud mouth uses his middle initial because that makes him even more important, I guess. Whatever. He's always flapping his yap about something stupid. And of course, he knows everybody. Dr. Martin Luther King were good friends. And when I spoke to him the other day, okay, dude, whatever. He spoke to his agent on a good day. And of course, I would be lost in the political spectrum of broadcasters that are trying to be the next Howard Stern, that are trying to convince you that they're experts. And that you should listen. Benny Johnson is telling about an emergency press conference in Mar-a-Lago. Oh, dude, seriously, you can do better. Just look at the actual real Republicans. Rhinos, by the way, are MAGA. We're going to get that straight. And we're going to do better with proper identification and respect to actual Republicans. They're just waiting. Mitt Romney, God love him, he's going to be enjoying retirement. Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, I promise you, you have not seen the last of those two. Ted Cruz, we're about to see the last of. Rick Scott, no different, thank God. And this, everybody says, and Grant Cardone said that this past weekend, that I'm actually a liberal. I don't know why this translates to conservatism, but unlike you Republicans, I've actually read the Bible cover to cover. Didn't understand most of it, but certainly learned from it. Learned why I should be practicing it as a spiritual Christian. I say that because I'm not religious. I don't go to church. Jesus didn't go to church. Jesus didn't go to some big gaudy temple. He climbed to the top of a mountain and looked out over God's creation. Said, this is what my Father did. I do that right here in my neighborhood. I walk the 4 blocks to the Gulf of Mexico and I go, wow, I could never do that. So when you get your own Nazi rally in a major venue like Madison Square Garden, and with all of your popularity, you still can't fill it. It was not sold out. I saw pictures. I saw empty seats. Not that many people were at the refreshment stand. No. But some no-name comedian gets up on stage and cracks some joke that got boos. I don't know if it was because there were a few people there who had some good taste, or maybe the Puerto Rican contingent. I mean, have you ever been to Puerto Rico? Have you ever been to Puerto Rico during an election season? I have. We had to delay the arrival of Hillary when she was there on one particular visit because there was a fight in the town hall or whatever this venue was over local politicians. I mean, this is a major league sport to these people. And I can't say enough the seriousness and the fatal mistake that your campaign makes when you try to distance yourself a day later, from somebody you invited to the party. How did you not know? And it begs probably the most important question of the entire issue is what everybody, including your own party, has been saying. That you're not fit. If you can't vet a comedian, how are you going to vet the next Secretary of State? The next director of the FBI? How did you vet your vice president this time? Who called you Hitler? Who called you the opiate? Which, if you know anything about where he's from, it's not a compliment. And I just can't see how you think this is a good idea. And I had it, I think it was on Facebook. I can show you, I'll find it real quick. Here's what we're looking at. I'm going to open a couple of maps. And we'll see exactly. Yeah, here we go. Oh, Donnie. Donnie. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, that one's not as helpful. I'm looking at the second one. I can't even see that one. So yeah, we're gonna see what this one can do for. Oh, perfect. Here we go. There it is. All right, let's look at this. Here is what your joke did. Here's what you think is funny. No, I don't like that. There we go. All right. Here's what your joke did. Puerto Rican population by state. And this is done by Caesar J. Ayala. Ayala? I'm so bad with names like this. I'm seeing so far 2018 for the date. So that's that. This was the first one that popped up, and it's probably the best for everything that I've looked at. Puerto Ricans by state. You did your little circle jerk in New York City at Madison Square Garden, in a state that has it's red on here, which means it's over 250,000. It is 1.08 million as of 2018, almost 1.1. Florida, a state that is close for you. I mean, Trump's probably going to win Florida, but if he's really pissed in the Cheerios of 1.1, almost 1.2 million Puerto Ricans, yeah, 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 I don't know. That might suck. I mean, let's look at Georgia, where they've got between 100,000 and 250,000. They just over 100,000 with 100,923 Puerto Rican Georgians. What was his famous quote when he was on the telephone call? Just find me 11,000 votes. Well, Donnie, we just found you 100,000 votes in one of the more important states. Texas is another close one, 213,809. Pennsylvania, almost 500,000. This is not a good idea. That joke was, and then to distance yourself, saying whatever. Let me find that quick. Tony Hinchcliffe. I don't even know who that is. I don't. Tony who? This guy's a comedian? Okay. So this was the emergency? Okay. Newsweek is showing that this was the emergency. And of course, JD Vance is goose stepping right in line. So this is apparently the emergency. So this one, Joe Rogan addresses claims YouTube censoring Donald Trump interview. Joe Rogan admitted it was on his end that they were having technical issues. YouTube had nothing to do with it. Donald Trump has distanced himself from a comment from Puerto Rico made by a speaker at a Sunday rally at Madison Square Garden in New York City. Comedian Tony Hinchcliffe sparked widespread backlash after he described the territory as an island of floating garbage. On Tuesday, Trump told ABC News, Rachel Scott, I don't know him. Didn't he say that about his own son-in-law? Yes, he did. I don't know him. I see him around the White House. Wow. Someone put him up there. I don't know who he is. Okay. Well, here's the thing, Donnie. If your people can't find you good talent for a comedian, I mean, get Larry the Cable Guy. I think he's a conservative. He dresses like one. We'd have put him in your sparsely populated rally and played Where's Waldo because he looks like everybody else. The Republican nominee also said that he did not hear any of Hincliffe's comments. So what? Doesn't mean it didn't happen. I don't have a dog at my feet anymore, which means she's up to no good. When pressed, here's the important thing. When pressed, Trump did not denounce Hincliffe's remarks, instead repeating that he had not heard them. That doesn't matter. I wasn't even alive when Hitler killed 6 or 7 million Jews. It doesn't mean I approve it. That doesn't mean that I can't say that it was wrong. I don't approve that. That's not okay. Calling one of the most beautiful islands in our country garbage by, I mean, let's look him over here. Oh, he's not on that one. Well, I tell you, by an unknown white guy, what good can come from that other than you get to continue to spread your hate? And you think that's what this country needs? Wow. Following the rally, a Trump campaign spokesperson said the joke does not reflect the views of President Trump or the campaign. Why can't he say that? There's one reason. Because it does reflect the views of Donald Trump. And that's why Puerto Rican celebrities, including Jennifer Lopez, Bad Bunny, Ricky Martin, to publicly express their support for Kamala Harris.
Go.
I'm on the radio.
Keys.
On the door. Trump is due to hold a rally in Allentown because that's going to help. You're going to a state about the same size as Puerto Rico. He leaves Friday. He thinks this is a hobby or something. So other Trump allies are rebuking Tony Hincklife's Puerto Rico insults. Tony Hinchcliffe gains thousands of followers after Puerto Rico remarks. Kamala Harris woos Puerto Rico after Trump rally comments. Well, I think not just Puerto Rico, but Puerto Ricans. Hillary did that during the primary. She hit Puerto Rico pretty hard during the process of gaining the nomination. And, well, she may or may not have scored it. I don't remember. There's not a lot there in Puerto Rico. Going to Miami, going to New York, to Allentown, to Philadelphia, to Reading, and getting the Puerto Rican vote there. it's what could easily send you over the top. All right, here's some kudos. For those of you who think I'm all left wing and not supportive of the right, I don't like the guy. I'm not endorsing him, but at least he's stepping up here. Florida Senator Rick Scott said the joke bombed for a reason. It's not funny, and it's not true. Al Capone once said, "We laugh at we laugh at some things because they're funny. We laugh at other things because they're true." And according to Rick Scott, and I agree, this joke was neither. Puerto Ricans are amazing people and amazing Americans. I've been to the island many times. It's a beautiful place. Everyone should visit. I will always do what I can to help any Puerto Rican in Florida or on the island. All right, that's a good response. And there's nothing wrong with distancing yourself from something ridiculous like that. And yeah, I just don't get Hulk Hogan. Sad. By the way, I tested the phone lines as I do before we go on. And we're in the process of changing over to a new carrier, Seamless Communications. That's not complete yet. It's things I have to do on my end, and so we can't take any calls today. But you can comment if you're on any of our social media. Do that. We'll check in with it. And when we come back, Toast of the Morning Sauce. 99.1 WDJY and the rest of the Mastiff Media Network. We'll be back after this. Smell nasty. Do you want to freshen it up a little bit? Go to aromabypeter.com. Check out all of Peter's candles. It's what we burn here in Studio Yerg's. I'm burning right now leather scented candle. That's right, leather scented. So go to aromabypeter.com/Yerg's and check out his candles today.
I'm Jane Stahl, retired English teacher, and with my BFF, Susan Bebeck, we manage Studio B Fine Art Gallery in Boyertown, Pennsylvania. We showcase the art of hundreds of local artists, publish books of the poetry, prose, and art of local writers, offer classes, art parties, workshops, discussion groups, cater dinners. We've even hosted a wedding. And we're here to be the go-to place for friendship, learning, and fun in our community. Virtual tours of our exhibits are available right here on Yerg's Radio. Let us introduce you to some amazing art and artists.
Check out Jane Stahl and everyone at Studio B in Boyertown, Pennsylvania. Please visit our YouTube channel, Talk TV 24. How's your website doing? I'll tell you how mine's doing. It's awesome. Yergs.com is gotta be the best website for anybody in podcasting or any sort of broadcast solo journalist like me. How did I get that? Limit Break Digital. Limit Break Digital did my website with Yergs.com. They did YergerGroup.com. They take care of my marketing, my branding, and help me get the message out to you. Go to limitbreakdigital.com/Yergs for 10% off your next project. That's a $3,000 site, Yergs.com. And you can get 10% off that by just going to limitbreakdigital.com/Yergs today. Talk to Jay. That's my guy. We all got a guy, and Jay's mine. limitbreakdigital.com. Hey gang, it's Yergs. Right now, our country is about to embark on yet another controversial presidential election. I have an actual question, legitimate question, as a political scientist and historian by education. If you are a Trump supporter, I want to hear from you. I want to know what your appeal to Donald Trump is at this time. please email me news, NEWZ. Oh, well, hello. I don't even know why that's there. I clicked on something by accident. News, NEWZ at yergz.com. That's the email. News, NEWZ at yergz.com. If you are a Trump supporter, if you're willing to give your first name and the city in which you live and explain why you support Donald Trump. I don't get the appeal. I don't see the appeal. I don't understand why there would be an appeal, but I want to know as a political scientist by education, like I said, and just I'm curious as all get out. I mean, wow. So when I get out of this garage, I go to Monster Mouse Fitness, now branded as Momentum Fitness and Wellness. Momentum Fitness and Wellness has the same equipment that was in great shape when I was there before. Anything that was damaged or getting old is either repaired or replaced. There's more space. There's more space in the weight room because the front desk was moved to other space next door that they acquired. Former pet store, pet food store, and pet gift shop. They've got space out back where they do outdoor cross training. They've got a cold water plunge. They've got sauna, a larger stretching area. That's where, when we didn't have internet here, we did our show from their lobby. In fact, he still has 50 feet of my Cat 5 or Cat 6 cable that I'm just going to leave there because we're going to help with his broadcasts that are coming to Yerg's Radio. By the way, Tony and his brother putting together a podcast that will be on Yerg's Radio coming soon. So go to momentumfitnessandwellness.com. Talk with Anthony. Talk with the chat there. Just go to the gym. It's on US 19 in Jasmine Estates and Bayonet Point. It's between the Arby's and the U-Haul on the east side of the highway. To your right, as you're headed north into Hudson, just south of Hudson, just north of Newport Richey. Get there. Get your Hernando Beach body back or keep it, whatever you got to do. Just walk right up to the door. There's a QR code at the door. You can scan that, get your membership while you're standing there. Your access to the gym is through your phone. There's no keypad anymore or key fob. It's just through your phone. That's it. It lets you in and you're good. 24/7. Momentum Fitness and Wellness, Bayonet Point, Jasmine Estates, right outside Hudson and Port Richey. All right. So, as most of you know, unless you've been living under a rock, we've had one hell of a hurricane here about a month ago. Yesterday or today, I forget the actual date, or maybe Saturday. I forget the actual date. But we're still cleaning up. And as a result, we're still creating piles and piles of debris outside. Well, the people that cleaned that debris are now, I mean, there was a snag with this, a snag with that, and a snag with whatever else. But the people who clean that debris have done an amazing job. They cleaned the whole street yesterday. Because it was just me for like the first almost month, I got out what I could. There was a lot more that had to be done. I had no money, so I couldn't buy the tools necessary that you might even be hearing in the background right now. And so I not near as far as so many of my neighbors. Dad arrived to help on Friday. We've been going at it ever since. And we've got all 3 bedrooms empty. We got the bar room mostly done. I can tell he's working on the living room right now. And we're wrapping up. Any of the damaged furniture is out, with the exception of one dresser, or excuse me, one chest of drawers, one of the higher ones, and that's in the bar room because I never had enough room in my own bedroom for it. So that'll be probably sawed up and taken out. I got to go as soon as I get some money. I mean, I've been broke for the past 2.5 weeks. And as soon as I get some money, I'm going to get some more tubs, storage tubs, like Rubbermaid, Craftsman, that kind of thing, and empty the drawers. Put my other equipment that I'm not using in a safe space. I've got like clothing all over the living room right now. I've got no bathing suits anymore. Bummed about that. But I'll be emptying out the rest and emptying out the living room and so on. And as soon as that happens, we'll be able to rip down the rest of the drywall, most of which is also in those various rooms gone. We get to do the dining room next. Yeah, it's happening. And as soon as this is done, the roof is next. The roof is next. But today's Pierre's Pot go to the guys, the various crews that were. My Siri is talking to me all of a sudden. That have not only been redetailed after initially coming here to go reopen Tampa and that whole area from Milton, but have come back. They're working 24/7. I mean, it's in the process that they've got figured out. We are a long avenue, boulevard, whatever, that comes off of Route 19 and heads west into the Gulf of Mexico. It's all landfill here. So fortunately, we don't have earthquakes too. But spurring off to the north and to the south are dead-end streets like mine, on which are all the houses. Between the streets are canals. So there's nowhere, once you're in, you're in. You've got to somehow turn around and get back out. So they stage these large dump trucks, what are called triaxles, because there's the front tires and two back tires. And he's doing that on purpose. I know he is. And they're big. And so is some of the equipment that they're using to load these things. So they stage the trucks on another street. And they call them over the radio when they're ready to come fill them. Meanwhile, there is a front end loader, that is so big it doesn't turn right or left tires. There's a joint in the middle of the vehicle that turns. And that's how this thing maneuvers. Then there's this big claw that picks most of this stuff up and piles it together. And together, the claw and the bobcat, a smaller, like about the size of a car, smaller front end loader, push this debris into the larger front end loader, which then dumps it over top of the bed into the back of a dump truck. And then once it's full, it's covered with a tarp and off it goes. And it's a process. They got their own system. Right down to the guys coming down the street with blowers that and magnets that pick up nails. I know one guy within the first week of this, because they hadn't worked the system out yet. One of my neighbors had 4 blown tires in less than a week. One, that would have pissed me off because it's the only car I got. 2, I don't have the money to go fix the 4 brand new tires that I just bought 2 months ago. So today's Pierre's Pot is in the direction of all those workers who've done an amazing job cleaning up after whatever delay some people bitched about. There's things you got to figure out and get set up, and they are set up and they're going. And with us still doing demo work here at my own place, they keep coming back. They emptied our street yesterday. We weren't finished, so we filled up the pile that was sitting outside. They came back last night and got the rest of it. That's why we feel so bad, because we ain't finished yet. We get a living room, a kitchen, and a dining room to do yet, and bathrooms. So today's Pierre's Pot, a toast of the morning sauce in the direction of everybody who's been working to clean these streets here in Hudson Beach, Leisure Beach, Sea Pines, all the neighborhoods throughout western Pasco County, down into Pinellas, through the Richies, down into Pinellas County, everywhere. Great job. I know there's probably some kinks somewhere. You'll work it out, you'll figure it out, and you'll get us back to normal. Thank you for what you do. Today's toast of the morning sauce is in your direction, and I need some. All right, gang, one more break. When we come back, we're going to finish talking about how the MAGA party, which is not the Republican Party, the MAGA party, who are the rhinos, the Republicans in name only, are really Nazis. 99.1 WDJY and the rest of the Mastiff Media Network will be back after these words.
Is the only president in American history who has refused to guarantee the peaceful transfer of power.
Joe Biden.
He lost the election and he knew it.
To become the president.
He betrayed millions of Americans by telling them the election was stolen.
Stop the steal.
He ignored the rulings of dozens of courts. Rather than accept his defeat, he mobilized a mob to come to Washington and march on the Capitol. Then he watched on television while the mob attacked law enforcement, invaded the Capitol, and hunted the vice president. He refused for 3 hours to tell the mob to leave. There has never been a greater dereliction of duty by any president. Trump was warned repeatedly that his plans for January 6th were illegal. He didn't care, and today he celebrates those who attacked our Capitol. Donald Trump has proven he is unfit for office. Donald Trump is a risk America can never take again.
So that just popped in. FEMA's here early. I've got to run. I've got to take this. So I'm going to put on the rest of, or the earlier part of today's show. And that's what's going to take us through the remaining 15 minutes. 99.1 WDJY. I'll be back tomorrow. And yeah, here we go. There we go, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.